Good evening, VCA families. I hope you guys are doing well. You're not melting out there. I just wanted to take a few minutes to connect with you all about the end of our school year and also give you some updates regarding the fall. So I'm going to use some slides here just to kind of help keep everything organized. A short newsletter is going to be coming out to you guys soon via email with all the details, both from this video update for our last week of school, which we cannot believe is already here. So be watching for that to come in the next 24 hours. So let me get to our last week of school here. Next week, we have an exciting week ahead. Tuesday, June 2nd, we're going to be utilizing that time to turn in textbooks, musical instruments, Chromebooks, anything like that that belongs to the school. And some of you still have things on campus that are yours. And so if you're in elementary, your teachers are gathering those things together for you and we'll have them for you out in front of the school. If you're in secondary, we'll be asking you to clean out your lockers and we'll be handling that in a safe, socially distanced way. So the way we're going to handle that is elementary is going to come between 2:30 and 3:15. We will ask for you to just allow the teacher to come to your car and hand you your things, and they can take the things you have to turn in. And then for secondary, from 3:15 to 4, you'll be pulling up also at Carline. And if you need to clear out your locker, which we're thinking most of you will, we're going to let a limited number of students at a time into the locker hall to do that, staying socially distanced, all that stuff you guys are used to by now, so that we can keep it safe. And then we'll have you head on back to your car after that. And we have those times kind of right back to back with each other for those of you families who have students both in elementary and secondary. Then Wednesday, June 3rd, those will be our last chapel hangouts. So make sure that you show up for those at their usual times, 9:15 for elementary and 11 for secondary. Thursday, June 4th is our kindergarten virtual promotion, and the time isn't right there, but that is at 11 a.m. and hopefully you families, you'll just be in contact with Miss Kay about that. And Friday, June 5th is the last day of school. So 6th grade, you will have your virtual promotion at 11:30 that morning. 8th grade will have their virtual promotion at 1 p.m. And then we want to invite you all to join us for a last day parade to celebrate our first years of school. So decorate those cars in gold and blue and whatever other fun that you can think of, and come drive through to bid your teachers a happy summer and wave to each other as we parade around the parking lot. We have to ask you to stay in your car that day, unfortunately, but we thought at least that's a way that we can see each other. So we can't wait to see you and celebrate at a distance the great things God has done this year. And like I've said before, I'll say it again, if we can get back on campus this summer for a celebration of those who've promoted and then also get yearbooks handed out and just connect with each other, we are going to do that, and we will be in contact with you about that. Next, I want to talk to you. I know there are a lot of questions out there about what is going to happen. What are our plans for the fall? I know a lot of you are wondering that. So while I cannot answer all of the questions around opening in the fall as fully as I'd like to be able to, we do want to be really clear and transparent with all of you about what we do know along the way as we get more information. We understand that it is frustrating not to have more answers, guys, and we just want you to know that we share that frustration with you. And we appreciate the patience and faithfulness of all of you, our families, our students, and our staff. But there are some things that we can tell you right now. The CDC gave schools some general guidance last week around hygiene practices, social distancing, things like that, that we're already studying and we'll be sure that we align with. We'll share those with you too over summer as we prepare for the fall, and those will work into our written policy as well. However, they are general guidelines and require us to look directly to our county and state for more specific guidelines. And that is what we are waiting on. We have not received specific guidelines for a reopening in the fall from our county or from our state. Our desire and our plan is to begin school on campus on our start date of August 20th. We will start school that day one way or the other, and we are working very hard to make that be an on-campus, in-person thing. The general information we've received so far from county and Department of Education suggests that schools in our size range have a good chance of being allowed to open fully, with some adjustments to recess and other times of the day when larger numbers of students would be congregating. So this has been encouraging to hear, and we're moving forward and making plans for the fall, assuming that we will be able to start on campus with all of our students in August. If that changes, we will let you know, and we're hopeful that we'll have a better understanding of the details around that in the next month. But what we're trying to do is make some different contingency plans depending on what sort of restrictions we may be facing. So some options we're considering, should we need to make some modifications, are to stagger our recess and break times, times where our students would all come together. We take up a large, or we don't take up that large of a footprint actually on our current campus. So we're looking into the possibility of spreading out a bit, but that's going to depend on whether other groups are utilizing parts of the property that we're on. We're going to make plans in our classrooms and other places to allow for social distancing, so that we're prepared if we need to keep that guideline in the classroom. In secondary, it may be wise for us, rather than to move our students around to multiple classrooms, to have our teachers move more around classroom to classroom to the students. So that's an option that we are considering as well. We'd be increasing our sanitizing efforts around campus throughout the day. We've already purchased several contact-free infrared thermometers that will allow us to just monitor temperatures of students without having to send people to the office a lot if they're not feeling well. So those are some different things. In order to be best prepared for any option, whatever that is, guys, whether that's COVID-19 related or other things like smoke days that we've already experienced, we're looking at some options there. So we are going to be updating and increasing our Chromebook supply to make sure that students have access to devices. We're pricing out webcams for our classrooms so that teaching could potentially be recorded in the event that a student became ill for an extended period of time, or we needed to be off campus for an extended period of time. The lessons could continue to be taught and recorded. The other thing is we want to just sort of normalize the use of Google Classroom more regularly on campus to allow for a more seamless transition. If we should have to learn off campus, or again, if a student had to go home for a couple of weeks to isolate or anything like that in the case of extended illnesses, this way we'd just be more prepared should that happen. Finally, we just would continue to look for your input. You guys have been really great about responding to surveys that we've sent out. And we're going to be sending out a very brief staff, student, and faculty survey soon that's going to aid in providing us more input on your general experience with VCA at home this spring, so that we can continue to fine-tune it should we need to utilize VCA at home again for any period of time. But I want you to know that we just remain committed to providing a quality, consistent education from a biblical worldview aimed at equipping your students for whatever God has planned for them. So I just wanted to give you some of those detailed updates on the plans we're looking at so far, and we're continuing to develop those, and we'll keep communicating those to you in the weeks and months to come. Finally, I can't thank you all enough for your patience as staff, and students have adjusted to this season of virtual learning. And we just thank you guys so much for your support and your encouragement during this time. It's really been incredible. I'm so proud of our students and of all of their efforts to learn this system and faithfully work through the end of this school year. I know it's felt long for some of you, and I'm just really proud of you for hanging in there. Your summer break is well earned. And parents too, you've been in the trenches helping your students work with this technology and adjust to a completely different approach to learning. And so I just want to thank you for that. Keep the questions coming. We just want to stay in communication with you. And like I said, we'll keep you posted as we find out more about the fall, but we are forging ahead. We are hopeful and encouraged that we can get back on campus in the fall. So I can't wait to see you all next week and celebrate this first year of Victory Christian Academy. Have a great night, and I'll talk to you all soon.